Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about adding and subtracting polynomials. And pretty much this is something that we also did last session in 5.2. So to start off, it's really easy. One basic rule is just making sure that when you add and subtract any of the polynomials, they have the same exact letters, they have the same exact exponents, or it does not work. So to look at example number 1, you notice there's a plus sign. Now because it's a plus sign, it's really easy. Even though it's a parenthesis, you can just drop the parenthesis. So to write it out, I just want to show you guys that that's just 5x to the fourth plus x to the second plus 3x plus 6 plus 2x to the second plus 5x to the third and plus 1. And then after that, you can combine like term. Now remember, I want you guys to think about the signs, and that is one of the very important things. So those are the signs that's cutting in the sense of the number follow the signs from the previous lesson I told you guys about. So this is really a positive 5 for the first term. All right. Now, if you combine them together, you will really get the 5x to the fourth. That's the first one because that's the highest exponent. That's what we talked about last time. And then what I'm going to go down is to find 4. Do I have a 3? Yes, we do. So right here, that's a 3. Now make sure the number follows the sign. So the sign should be there. So a lot of you guys have always just kind of skip the sign and just make a guess. That's not acceptable anymore. Okay, the sign has to be there. Then the next one is going to be the 2. So here's the 2. I'm going to use a squiggly line to identify them. And then if that is the x to the second power, you'll have a 1 in front of it right here. Okay, so that's 1x plus 2x squared. So therefore, it's going to be 3x squared. So I'm going to put it in a different color. Maybe you guys can identify that better. Plus 3x squared. And that's because this guy and this guy. All right. And then we are going down to x. Now x is going to be this guy. And there's nothing else. So I'm just going to put down that's 3x. And the last one that's not have anything marked underneath is the constant. And the constant is going to be the 6, positive 6, and positive 1. So I want you guys to say the sign to yourself. So positive 6 and positive 1 is going to give you a positive 7. So that is how you just combine the polynomial. It's just making sure your exponent and your letters stay the same before you can combine them. And make sure you keep your sign in order because that's where most people make their mistake. And the sign is so critical because eventually as we do different kind of problems, the sign tells you is the term positive or negative. So that's example number 1. Now example number 2, I know how much you guys hated fractions, so I purposely put it on just so you understand it's not hard at all. It's just pretty much work the same way. So in this case, if you think about it, that's a plus sign in the middle. Now because that's a plus sign in the middle, I'm going to do is I am going to just drop the parenthesis. So if you drop the parenthesis, you can just rewrite it. So I'm gonna pause my video and you guys rewrite it again. The next line should look like this on example 2, and then we are also gonna do the combined like term. So in this case, I will have the start with a t to the fourth power, so which is this one and this one. So positive 7, negative 8 give you a negative 1t to the fourth. And you say, Miss Wiesman, do I have to write the 1t? No, you don't. You can just write down t, negative t to the fourth. And the next one you have is going to be tu to the second or tu. And which one does it come first? Well, because we start off with t, so t is our next one to look at. We don't have a second, we don't have a third, t is next. But since we have a tu and a tu square, now u is going to be the highest one, so that's why we go with the tu square. So tu square is this one and this one. And that, when you punch in the calculator, or if you want to do it in your head, that's going to be minus 3.2 tu square. Then the next one is going to be the tu. Now the tu is a fraction, so this is a fraction one and this is a fraction one. Now you can do it by finding the common denominator, which is going to be, let me put it on the side for you guys to see. You'll have negative 3 over 4 and plus 1 over 6. Common denominator is going to give you 12, and that's going to be negative 12, and then 12 is going to be times 3, and that's going to be 9, and this is going to times 2, and that's going to be plus 2 over 12. So because it's negative 9 plus 2 is going to be negative 7 over 12. I hope that helps. And then so let's put it down here. That's going to be negative 7 over 12 tu. And the last one is going to be the plus 11 and minus 5. That's going to give you positive 6. Now, if you are not sure about the fraction situation, there's also a way to do it on the calculator. And let me show you how to do it on the calculator, and you should be able to get the same answer. So when you do it on the calculator, you should put in parentheses, negative 3 over 4, parentheses, plus, parentheses, 1 divided by 6. And then use the button math fraction, which is number 1. And that should also give you the number negative 7 over 12. And that's on the TI 83 and 84. And that is example number 2. Hope it's not too confusing. If you have any question, please let me know. All right, next one, example number 3. Now, example number 3 is in word problem. So now we have to make sure that we can read it and understand what they are saying. If a rectangle has 3x plus 7 and 5x minus 1 as its width and length. Now, because of that, I would like to draw a picture and label them. So it's width and length. Write an expression in simplest form for the, here's the keyword, perimeter of the rectangle. You should know perimeter is all the way around the rectangle. So because that is the case, you should also understand that this is also 5x minus 1, and this is also, in the side, this is also 3x plus 7. And because of that, the perimeter should be all the way around. You can write a couple different ways. Right now, we are just adding and subtracting. That's going to be 3x plus 7 plus 3x plus 7, because left and right. Then we're going to add the up and down, 5x minus 1 plus 5x minus 1. Okay, now combine like term, and that's going to be 3x, 3x, 5x, 5x, and that is going to be 16x. And then you have 7, 7 minus 1 minus 1, and that's going to be 12. So plus 12. And that will be your parameter for the rectangle. On to example number 4. You guys give a try. It's just a different shape. Pause it and check back with the answers you have. Example number 4, I just gave you the answer. So I would like to see the work and everything else written down for yourself. That is one of the questions I'll be looking for to give you points on the notes. So if there's no work on example number 4, you will lose points on it. So please make sure you do that. And again, it's the same thing. It's the parameter. And then just combine like term. Example number 5. Subtracting and writing the resulting polynomials in a descending order of the degrees. So subtraction is the one that a lot of you guys will get confused because there's a distribute property. You cannot just drop the parenthesis anymore. So I would like you guys to definitely try to write down the next step instead of doing it in your head. That will be 9x squared plus 7x plus 5. The first part is not going to change, but the second part you got to distribute that negative sign. So that's going to be negative 6x squared minus 2x minus 1. Do you notice all the signs changed? Then we can combine like term. Again, same thing what I showed you guys before. You have to make sure that the number follow the sign. And let's combine them. And if you combine them, let's start with the highest exponent. That's x squared. So that's going to be 3x to the second. Then the next one is going to be the x. 7x positive negative 2x. So 7 minus 2 is going to be 5 plus 5x. Then the last one is going to be positive 5 and negative 1. So that's going to be 5 minus 1. So that's going to be 4. All right, and that will be your answer for this problem. Example number 5, the answer is 3x squared plus 5x plus 4. Okay, on to example number 6. I would like you guys to give a try, distribute them, and then combine the like term. I will put the answer on the bottom. Please make sure you show your step. For 6, I will put the answer on the bottom and you guys can check them. There's the answer for example number 6. Please make sure you put down the steps in between that I would like to see. There's only one little thing you have to write for me. The reason is I want to double check you guys do not forget to distribute that negative sign. Okay, so that's number 6. And number 7, again, it's double letters. So I would like to work through it with you guys. You should have no problem writing the first step. So I'm going to pause my video, write down the steps, and you guys can double check it. In example number 7, the one thing I want to double check with you guys is that distribute the negative sign for the second parenthesis. So please do not forget, negative times x to the 5th power is going to be a negative x to the 5th. Negative times a negative is going to be a positive. And then negative times a positive is going to be a negative, and negative times negative is going to be positive. So double check your signs for this guy. The last 4 is the correct signs right here. Okay, now let's combine like term. And if you combine like term correctly, then you are all done with this problem. So the answer, I'm going to pause the video and let you guys combine the like. And this is the answer for example number 7. Now, some of you guys might get a little bit confused how to put things in order. Again, because we are choosing x to go first, so x to the 5th, since we don't have the 4th and the 3rd, we go right to 2nd. Then use the other letter, we go upwards if we had to compare. So it's x to the 2nd, then x, Then if you notice the y goes up and then it's 24xy because y squared goes first, then it's y, then it's y squared again. Based on the x first, then you base on the y going upward. And that concludes our notes for 5.3. Thank you so much for watching.